Hi, this is Steve Rybrook with Ledgeview Partners, and this video is to explain all the enhancements that we've done to our oil and gas CRM product in April of 2018. So I'm going to jump right into the list of them, and then we'll actually go right in and demonstrate them. So just a quick review of what became available as of April 30th, 2018. We've added some fields to the lead and the account form. You're now able to enter a spot. There's a spot available to enter the customer or the lead's federal ID, the D&B code, which would be the Dun & Bradstreet code if you're using that, and also DBA or a spot to record doing business as. So those are on leads and accounts, and obviously if you enter a lead and qualify that lead, that information will be brought over to the account automatically. All right. As far as leads, accounts, and opportunities are involved, the lead source will also slide over from the lead and populate on the account and opportunity. So you'll be able to see where what lead source was involved with an account or an opportunity. Small change to the account screen on the contact grid, and we're showing you the contact's title, and I'll show you that. One of the cool features in CRM is the global search, and then even the searching within a specific file. We've added a few more fields that people would like to be able to search on. So on the account, there's a field for an other phone number. You're able to, if you search for that value now, you'll search for a phone number. It will search the other phone number field and see if it finds a hit. It'll show up on your search results. From the contact, we're doing the searching now is going to check for the business phone, the mobile phone, and the fax number. So hopefully it's a little bit easier to find a contact. And then on that lead and account, the fact that we added that doing business as, if you do a search for accounts or leads or do global search, it will also search that field. So depending on what you know about a customer or a contact, enter some information, hopefully global search and just searching at the entity level will bring back the results you're looking for. All right, on quotes, for some of you who use the quote feature, you know a while back with a Microsoft upgrade, the save and new button when you're entering products went away. So we programmatically put that back. So for all of you entering a lot of products on a quote, I'll show you that save and new button. It saves a little bit of clicking. Another thing that we rolled out in this feature is this concept of profit per unit. So how much profit did I make per unit? So basically it's just gross profit divided by units or volume. And what we started with on this particular enhancement is we added it to that 12-month summary screen on the account screen. We've also added it right to order history, to some of the views and the forms for order history. And then to start out, we just grabbed about, looks like 6 reports here that we put it on. And my hope is that as folks are starting to see that, maybe they'll come up with some other reports or some other analysis that they could use with that value. And then that might trigger some more enhancement ideas to come my way. And then we add them to the list. And then in a future release, we can even do more with this whole profit per unit concept. Okay, wrapping up here, 2 things left. We added a new dashboard. There's now going to be a dashboard 20 in CRM, which is really a sales manager tool. What it is it's a collection of a lot of different charts and dashboards from within the system. I think it shows like 17 or 18 different charts right in one dashboard. So there was a little bit of programming involved with that. So we've got that to show you. Managers might want to take advantage of that. And then a very small change to equipment tracking. We've got some requests that they wanted that equipment ID to show up in a few more places. So I'll show you that. All right, so let's flip over to CRM and get into this. All right, so to save us all some time, I actually created a lead out here just to get things started. So I'm just going to open up this lead. This was to save you from having to watch me type all this stuff. So I created a lead, and some of the things that you'll notice different on the lead are now there's going to be a spot for this doing business as. So I entered this Cons Construction, but they're doing business as Hank's Construction. So that's just an example. We also have a spot for that federal ID and the D&B code, as I mentioned. So that's really all the changes on the lead. I'm going to qualify this lead, so just change this to yes and hit save. And as you know, when you qualify a lead, it's going to create an account, a contact, and an opportunity. And I will use some of this information for, it looks like, Cons Construction. And also Hanks for searching. Okay, so here's the opportunity. So what changed on the opportunity? The only thing I believe that we brought over that we changed on this screen is if you scroll way down to the bottom where it showed the original lead, it's now showing the lead source that was on that lead. So now you have access to that information. So that's really the change to opportunities. So we got that done, and we talked about leads already. So I'm going to quick fill in a couple of the required fields here so I can get off of this screen. I just want to save this, see if that should be all the required fields, if I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I will just quick jump over to the account that was just created for Cons Construction. So I'm just going to do the shortcut there. Just click on the name. And now you'll see I'm in accounts now. I'm not on the opportunity anymore. And what are some changes here? Here's that doing business as. Here's that federal ID. Here's that DNB code. So those are now on the account screen along with the lead source. So all that information that we said was going to come over to the account screen. So now we have that covered. Another thing that I mentioned is a very small change. As I scroll down and I get to the contacts, the job title never used to show up here. I believe it actually showed the account name, which was kind of redundant. It would have, I think in the past, it would have showed Cons Construction. But because you're right on this screen anyway, you know it's Cons Construction. So we replaced that with the contacts job title. So hopefully that helps you out. All right, so we're cruising right along. As far as global search goes or some other searching, I think I'll just, maybe I'll do a quick global search for Hanks and see what we come up with. So I think I had doing business as that Hanks Construction. So I found Cons Construction because the doing business ad had the word Hanks in it. So that's why I found that. In the past, I never would have found that. I'm not going to do a search on all the different values that I entered, but the ones I mentioned earlier, business phone, mobile phone, fax number, other phone number, all of those are now going to be used in global search. And if you search right in the file you're looking for. So some cool stuff there. Let's jump over to quotes for a minute. I'm just kind of following along on the agenda. So I'll go over into quotes. I'll just grab any old quote that we have started because it doesn't even really matter so much about the quote. It's all about the products on a quote. So for some of you, as you scroll down on the quote, you add products to the quote. So you're down here in this section and you hit this plus sign to add a quote. And in the past, when you got done adding this, you would fill this all in and you would hit save and close. And that would bring you back here where you'd hit the plus sign again. Now, after you enter a product, I'll just see if I can find one here real quick. Again, it doesn't matter what product I find. I'll just grab any old one. Because for this example, it doesn't matter. I'll just leave the price the same. But instead of hitting save and close and then getting back here and having to hit the plus sign again, once I have my price and I'm happy with everything here, instead of hitting save and close, I can hit this save and new button, which is going to kind of do the save and close, but it's also going to assume I hit the plus sign again to get right back here to enter another one. So save and new. It just added that 8th product to the quote, or 7th product to the quote. I can't remember how many I had here, but it added that product to this quote here, and it just brought me back with a blank screen to enter another one. And I can just keep adding, save and new, save and new, save and new, and then when I'm all done, after I've added 5 or 6 products, I can just close out, and I'm right back here. So that's the save and new button. Hopefully for you folks who are using quotes, that's one little time saver for you. All right, profit per unit. Let's do a global search again here for our famous Fairview Manufacturing. Find an account that I know has some order history. And I'll just quick show you on this screen as I scroll down. My test data might not be the greatest here, but as all of you who are used to using this screen, this is showing me the products that I bought over the last 12 months, summarizing it by product, showing me the product I bought the most down to the products I bought the least, shows me revenue and gross profit as well as volume. But then we have this profit per gallon. So it's basically just taking gross profit divided by volume and coming up with a profit per gallon number. Or actually we call it profit per unit, because I guess it depends on how you measure your volume. And then we also have last order date, which has already been there. So we just added this column, profit per unit. If I want to go look at the detail here for this account, and I go to the order history for Fairview Manufacturing, down to basically the transaction level, we have all the information that we used to have, but now we also have a profit per unit column. One thing for those of you who are familiar with some of the data that we bring over from your accounting system, some of you bring over where you might sell, let's say, 2 kegs of something or 2 cases of something. So you might have a multiplier in there that actually converts a number, let's in this case 3, to 9, because 3 of whatever, this might have been a case, 3 cases might actually equal 9 gallons. So we use this number in the calculation. So it's this gross profit divided by this volume number is going to equal the profit per unit. So now what's kind of nice is you have access to this data in order history. So for some of you analytical freaks out there, which I really love all of you, because I'm the same way, is you can now do some easy analysis yourself, right? You could run a report or export some data for maybe a particular product where you didn't make at least this much per unit. You know, maybe those are some exceptions you're looking for. You could run a report. Maybe you're running a customer sales report. You can filter that down to the product level or a couple products. And then on some of the reports where we added profit per unit, you can maybe look for some exceptions. Okay, also not too many people do this, but I could just open up this record. And this is going to open up that order history record, which basically is just a list of what was on the screen almost. But we stuck the profit per unit on here. Well, maybe we didn't. I thought we put profit per unit right on the screen, but it's not jumping out at me. So maybe we didn't add it to. Oh, I clicked on the product, not the order history. That's what I did wrong. So let's go back and click right. So anyway, rather than doing that, I'll just do it like in super speed mode. So if I'm on an order history record, and I click in the right spot, it opens up the order history record. And this just shows me basically all that same information, but there's that profit per unit. This happens to be a negative transaction, so that's kind of a weird one. All right, I'll just run one report. I'm not going to run all the reports just to show it to you, but here's where, again, you can kind of get your mind going on the fact that we added it to this report 110. So because of this filter screen, now you've got some pretty powerful stuff here. So imagine you wanted to analyze just one product, right? You could filter on order history where the product equals, and then you could run this report. You don't have to do that filtering. I didn't in this example, but you know how the filtering works. So now we're getting a list, let's say, of all the customers who bought in this fiscal year, and it's showing, let's go back to the first page here. It's showing the gross profit, revenue, and volume like it always has, but now it's showing the profit per unit. So how much did I make per unit based on these transactions for the time period I picked? So you control the data. We're just going to do the math for you. All right. One other quick thing over in the workplace area in dashboards. I mentioned a new dashboard. I'm not going to go through every single chart on this dashboard because what it is it's basically a collection of a lot of charts that we already have, but all in one spot. So we call it the Sales Leadership Dashboard. And it's showing a lot of charts that you're very familiar with, but instead of having just a limit of 6 of them, what we've done is we worked with a client who wanted this, and they actually picked the charts that were important to them as a manager. So these are the charts that they felt were relevant. These 6 here, and then as I scroll down, I've got another block of 6. So all kinds of good charts on here. And then I think after we get down here, even that dashboard, the charts from dashboard 7, which is, how's my sales team doing goal versus actual for overall gross profit and new business. So all kinds of charts all in one nice spot for you. All right, finally, equipment tracking. So one of the things that got asked when you're just looking at this list where you link an account to a piece of equipment, It would be nice to actually see the equipment ID that's involved, so we added the column here. And then finally, if I'm looking right at an account and you go to the related equipment records that are tied to this account, we show you that information there. So this is just Fairview Manufacturing, the equipment they have, and the equipment ID was added to this list. All right, so that's it. That's our April 2018 release. I think for me, probably the coolest thing there's a lot of cool stuff, but that profit per unit, I think, is going to add a lot of conversation here over the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and hopefully we'll get some more feedback and be able to do even more cool stuff with profit per unit. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.